What's up guys, it's Talon here, and in today's video we have another viewer VOD review in store. Today we're going to be taking a look at Tube, and what I thought he did well in the solo cash cup, and what I think he needs to improve on. But before I get into this viewer VOD review guys, if you do enjoy my content or find what I'm telling you helpful, please drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on post notifications. Also, if you wish to support me in another way, please use code Talon.fn in the Fortnite item shop, #ad. But without further ado, let's just jump right in. This is going to be a 10th place with 3 eliminations, and we're going to take a look at some of the things he did well and some of the mistakes. Now, I'm already going to talk about how I am not a huge fan already of this first engagement that I am currently looking at. He's actually going to be taking a storm fight here, already being in the backside of zone. In a meta with no mobility, this is incredibly difficult to overcome. Now, he does get some good pre-fight damage here, but this is screaming to me to leave this particular fight alone. What is going to end up happening here is he's going to end up having to use his med kit, especially if he didn't have a med kit. This would be not the most intelligent fight to take. He does play it pretty well for the most part, but I mean, we hear now that our opponent has a better tack than we do. But you have to come in confident with these type of keys. Good, not jumping down, pickaxe swinging. Gets the cone up right there. Very, very, very nice. But however, because we're storm fighting here, we're going to have to hope that this opponent makes the edit play on us. But what we end up doing is having to take the med kit. And not only does this make the rest of our game more difficult, because now we have to rotate even further. We're sitting inside a zone. Our game's going to come down to who basically hits their shots, and we're going to get into a nice 50-50 situation. Now we see this opponent taking a med kit. He gets it off. Thankfully though, we get good crosshair placement, we get good piece control right here. We place this cone, turn it into a 50-50, and we get the important first shot, and we are at health advantage, which we don't really know coming in unless we did fry him off shield. I actually take that back, we do know. So I like the decision getting in here quickly, but I just don't think it's the best absolute fight to take. But we're very fortunate, one, to get another med kit. We do get an improvement on our shotgun, so a lot of positives came out of that fight. Just not the most intelligent fight. But let's hop into the next engagement or next elimination. Now we're going to be chilling in a box here. I think we're going to get a nice I think we're going to get a very fortunate AR elimination here, if I remember correctly. Now sees this guy getting lobby focused. I think he's going to be the lucky one that gets that tag. He does end up getting that tag. Then we're going to hop into, let's hop into him getting into half and half. We're going to fast forward to that portion here. This is a good rotate right here. Dead side, kind of letting people funnel using the bush. They hurt him. Eventually just decides to go, and that ends up working out better. All this is kind of already developed for him going a little bit later. Alright, we get in here. We're going to now just stop, pause, and talk about everything that we see. Now, we're not the healthiest on mats, but we do have Harpoon. Now, I would never recommend doing that. On 50 HP, it's just really bad. You're better off playing defensively there, but that, because one little AR tag is not going to assuage him. Oh my god, taking a mini out in the open, definitely wouldn't recommend that either. You need to play back down into your old box right there. And I think you just realized it a little bit late, and you sprayed out a ton of mats. This is kind of turning looks like to me this game is going to be turning, you know, nothing out of something, essentially. You pull zone here, which is really good. You only have basically 300 mats. And this Harpoon, very smartly intelligent carrying this Harpoon. This is going to benefit you a lot. You don't have movement. You're going to need an impact. You already know that you're not going to be able to make this rotation without an impact. So you're already having to think that in your mind. But we can kind of fast forward here until zone kind of starts, which it has. So we're at front side looking back. Now, I think another thing that's going to benefit you here, you get a nice little refresh as well. That's how you're able to make this rotate. You just got that refresh of 500 plus materials. Don't need to go for anything. Good layer switch. I like that decision not to just force anything. You don't need to force anything. I like you cutting off this guy. Now you've claimed this, all this space for yours. You can maybe look for a pick. You look for harpoons. You can sit back. Now, I'm not a big fan of full tarping and solos because your mats are going to get burned very, very, very quickly in this movementless meta. So, full tarping there. Maybe just do a conserve stair tarp. That's a little minor thing. It's personal preference, but... Trying to spam down, looking for a pick. I like that, right? Looking for an elimination before... We only have 5 builds. Maybe look a little bit earlier. There wasn't really opportunities with you staying front side. We're going to jump down. Nope, we're going to look down. I like that, though. That gives us some information. Bang through. We pull another fortunate zone, but we don't have any mats. Haven't used the harpoon yet. Great job of jumping in right here. You see an opponent just kind of slapping on your wall. Kind of needlessly. And there, you get a nice impact. Now, you got to hit that shot. That's just unfortunate. You just got that huge refresh. The opponent's actually decently weak. I think we just missed the shot here. Let's see if there's anything that could have been done differently there. We just got that huge impact. That really is unfortunate. It's good recognition here that opponent's kind of smacking on your wall. And then you just 50-50 and you have no mats, right? What plays are going to hurt? When you get that refresh. Ah. We miss a shot and miss an edit. And you just get a little... I think just a tap it... We just got that refresh. At least get your minis off first before you're taking this, right? Because you're one tap to a body to a spaz. That's exactly what ends up happening. I think you even get headshot. Just play a little bit slower there. You just got that refresh and the impact you need. You didn't really need to go for that. And I know it was probably free elimination if you hit the headshot, but at least try and get your minis off. You could have maybe sat in, got your minis off, and let that guy funnel through your old builds, and you have a much more better chance of winning that. But let's jump in the next game, see what could have been done better, and see what you did well. Alright guys, we are in the next game. This is going to be a 3 elimination 4th place, so a little bit better on placement and the same amount of kills. I believe this end game is a lot better than the previous one. Now we're going to jump in at half and a half here, 22 people left, not a crazy amount, but this is really good right here. We make a nice little wide edit. Spray through, get the cone down. Always good to go for your impacts in half and half. Now you're blessed with zone. And you have the mats to make the rotate, so I like leaving it. It's also good smart right here. You realize, hey, I don't have a clear path to front side. Let me jump up a layer and get clear path to front side. This is really good. Now you've cleared a whole layer of space for you. And then you're going to smartly pre-control that space ahead in storm so no one can claim that off you. Make sure you place your cone on top of that metal floor that isn't yours. So you can just walk right through. Now getting zone is incredibly important. Now, using the wood to rotate, then he switches to hard mats. A lot of pros like just rotating with their wood. And with him being ahead, this is good. We see some good conserve tarping, something I didn't see in that first game. Using the conserve tarping to conserve mats. Now we're using our wood, and we're going to get a free pick back right here. He's the most ahead player in the entire lobby, and this is what getting ahead can do. Now, right here, we're already a little bit protected. We're going to get this elimination. It should be instantaneous harpoon. Instead, we block off and we lose that opportunity. But we drop down. Could have maybe dropped to low just a little bit sooner. And we're on a side of a zone where Storm is starting to hug, so we don't really have to worry about blocking our left. And then we get kind of a cheap rotate, and this is the beauty of staying ahead. If you stay ahead, you can sometimes get super cheap rotates. Now this is a very, very good engagement and use of the harpoon. You always want to have in this particular season. You needed to either have peppers and or harpoon would kind of be the two utility items that you really need to carry. Good spray through. We full key this because we don't have a lot of mats. We'd get some pre-fight damage. Now this is really smart. This wall is being built. We have a harpoon. If we fall in at this diagonal angle, we're going to get in 100%, which we do. Get right here. Now we just need to either place a cone or just hit a better shot because we only hit for 37. And this could have gone a little bit differently because we don't have mats, but fortunately it looks like both ran out and you get a little bit of a refresh. Now zone's going to pull your way again. And then you kind of conserve tart smartly and get ahead. And you see how free loadout is. You'll see Oki's is right there, actually. And you see all of these mats over here. Now, this is where I was just a little bit confused. Because you've got all that refresh. Look at that. 400 wood, 100, 100. So 600 mats to play with. And look at all that green grass right in front of you. And you box up. So you could be that guy again that's sitting ahead, holding everybody, and chilling ahead. You have mats on low. So there's no... You go for an impact, which you don't really have to. It's kind of a little bit of force. Good layer switch though to get off of that, but now still you're kind of behind, and there is enemies and people around you. This is super duper congested. You get what little mats you can. 400 mats, but it's going to end up kind of costing you here because now you're kind of stuck behind. This person drops on you. You're stuck in the back. There's a bunch of congestion. You're not the one that's ahead. You have to make up and use your mats to go up, which is just, I think, a bad decision, especially in wood, because you're going to get sprayed off, which just ends up happening. You get sprayed off, and now, look, you have barely any mats, and you're going to do a bunch of congestion. You basically get pinched between a pro and a very good player who ends up killing that pro. So, just, once you get that mat refresh, it should have been just gone. I'm gone. I'm going to front side. See ya. I got 600 mats. That's a minor mistake, and even if you don't get that elimination, you get more points for staying alive longer, and you just constantly being ahead. You were blessed with zone a lot right there. It's a little bit, you ended up getting 4th. It's not a bad game at all. 4-3 eliminations, but could have definitely been a little bit better. I think you could have milked at least. I'm sure this engagement would have definitely happened with them being on so close. That person on high ground is probably not going to focus you being ahead as well, because you can maybe even focus him, knock him out, while he's maybe focusing other players that are more towards the back if he's not playing his head like you are. I don't know who ends up winning this, but just a minor mistake, and hopefully just you played most of that end game pretty well. It's just that one mistake. Once you got that harpoon, you should have been gone. Just like you stayed front side pretty much the entire time throughout those the moving zones, and then when you got the match, just for some reason, I don't know if it was greenness for that one elimination, but it caught you to the backside zone. You had to tank zone, you had to burn a lot of mats, you got sprayed out, and then you got pinched. So just make sure that if you get that blessing refresh with that harpoon, which is again smart to use, and you used it very, very well to get mats and to get a much needed impact, just make sure you continue to stay front side. But let's hop into another game and do some more analysis. Alright guys, we are analyzing another game. This is going to I believe his first game. This is going to be a one elimination top 10. We're going to see here some mistakes and some things to go over. Now, we get into this situation right here where we're cone peeking here, and I think that's great. However, this is like a free rotate to zone, almost. And like we see these guys taking this path. Now the only person you have to worry about, but here's what ends up happening doing this. One, you don't have a big thunder pump. And so what ends up happening with you waiting this long, as you're going to see, you're going to end up picking this elimination. Now you need to cover off your side here and be aware of that. You drop down, and now you're kind of keying in the middle of getting into half and half. This guy gets held, but what's going to end up happening is you get cracked for a bunch. You get a good impact, but now because you let all 3 people ahead of you go ahead, and 2 of them made it out alive, you did get the pickup on 1. This is what's going to end up happening. Just watch this next sequence. We're burning a lot of mats here, getting sprayed out, and we're kind of towards backside, and everyone that's in the game is going to look at you, and it looks like just one person that again beats you to the rotate, and then you get lobbied. Now, this impact becomes completely, absolutely meaningless in half and half. This is first game. If you want to play for placement, I would prioritize that rotate earlier, especially you had a short side rotate pretty much free. You saw how free it was for the 2 people in front of you, and the only reason the last guy didn't make it because you eliminated him, and the only reason why this game turns out pretty decent for you is you actually pull zone again. You're very, very fortunate in a lot of these zone pulls. So, be able to get the med kit off, and now he plays this correctly. If you don't have enough mats to make the rotate, what you want to do is you want to literally stay in your box and chill until basically the zone comes and touches your back until you have to move, and let everything develop you. Now, 15 people right here. This is good looking for angles because people are going to have to run right through you. Get some good pre-fight damage here. Good pressure. Now 4 builds, you can maybe make a play, but doesn't decide to. And I think he plays this part pretty well. I mean, there's not much he could do with his limited amount of... He has 4 builds to his name. And he waits to the back of zone. And then now you see the zone is at his back. He misses a shot, I believe. 2 shots. And now you're going to see he does turn this into a top 10, but now he gets focused, 1, because he's at the back, 2, he doesn't have any builds. Now this is a noble attempt to get in this car, but you got your shield fried, and actually you would have been protected if you would have gone in the car. I would have maybe switched, if you're going to stick this place, switch seats right here, but don't get out of the car when you're flying out, because now you don't have mats to catch yourself and do that. You could have possibly maybe stayed in the little car. It gives you a little bit of protection. I'm sure this guy would have focused anyway. There's not much you can do with no mats, but you never know. At least stay in the car and stick it, because that's really you're dead if you're out in the open, but you're dead to fall too. But you end up getting, I believe, like a 6th place with 1 elimination because his first game not super stacked lobbies. And I think it's just from in that situation, if you have the mats there, I believe you're like 5-3-4. If I go back before this impact here, I want to make sure because you really didn't need it, and I don't mind. I would just we saw it in the Cammy VOD review. The importance of going for impacts and half, but that was in a little bit more stacked games. If we can get to your, so this impact here, like when you're looking for this impact here, maybe if you weren't so shamble, like I don't believe you were no, you're 5-4-2, like you're 1100 mats, like this impact doesn't matter that much. Like as we see this guy go off a pepper, and then we see this guy go, and he gets, I believe, shot a little bit, and he blocks, and now they go and they're all ahead, and this guy goes, and now you're the most behind, and this is fine to go through, but look at, you end up coming out of this situation with less mats. Could have maybe gone for a pre-box there too. You know he's only going to go to the right because zone's to your left. He has nowhere really else to go there and down. You want this elimination, so you're staying more and more back. Get a very good cone right here, get front wall. But you take a ton of damage. And look, you're about the same. You're 5-2-3 instead of 5-4-2. And then all your mats are going to pretty much get spammed out. So just, you didn't need to go for that impact. Maybe a rotation a little bit earlier because it was a very short side rotate. And you ended up getting backside and getting held and then getting spammed out of mats. Just, I think in that certain situation, you have the mats, just go in and rotate. You can get your impacts later. It's first game too, so you're not even going to be most 6th and 7th zones are top 5 anyways, and you can net your placement points that way. But guys, that is going to do it for today's viewer VOD review. I hope that you do enjoy. If you did, please drop a like on this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on post notifications, and I hope I'll be seeing you in the next one. Peace.